It all started when God made the world and everything in it out of nothing. Okay, actually, he made it all out of love. He loved the world into being. And into that world, God poured everything. The changing seasons, the plants, the trees, the animal world, and human beings with their variety of beauty, imagination, and potential. But everything God had blessed the world with so richly was not as bright and beautiful and full of light as God had intended. Human beings never really properly took care of the world or each other. We have often made the world a very dark place. So what has made the world such a dark place? What stops it being the place God wanted it to be? Come on, name and shame. The darkness now is war, famine, bullying, pollution, coronavirus. So God sent his Son into the world to be the light of the world. Not a light to shine on the world from heaven, but a light to shine on the earth itself from earth. Jesus was born in Bethlehem, here on earth. God's Son became a human being just like us to bring God's light into a world of darkness. And it was a very dark world that Jesus came into. His own people were oppressed. He was born in a dark, dingy stable. And if you read a little further into the story of Jesus, you'll find out that Jesus and his family were refugees. They had run away to escape from King Herod, who wanted to kill the baby Jesus. There's no doubt about it. He was born into a very dark world. But that's exactly why he chose to go there. When would you switch on a light or a candle? Only when it's dark. Switch off the lights right now in the room you're in. Enjoy the light of a single candle flame that takes the darkness out of the whole room. But the world didn't like the light that Jesus brought. This light showed up all the wrong things that had been hidden in the dark. Jesus showed up the injustice in the world. And he lived a life that showed how we should treat people who are poor or ill, or people we find difficult. He talked about how the leaders hadn't been caring properly for everyone, and how the people had forgotten what really matters. But God still loved the world. On our Christingle, we place a red ribbon round the orange, and this represents God's love. God's love has always surrounded and encircled the world, and that love was shown most deeply when the grown-up Jesus died on the cross. So the red ribbon, is for Jesus' blood. Even though Jesus died, the candle flame still burns brightly, because Jesus became alive again, showing that the love of God was deeper than all the hatred in the world, and that the peace of God was stronger than all the violence in the world, and that the light of God was brighter than all of the darkness in the world. That's the story that the Christingle tells. The story of the light and the love of God. Jesus came to bring the light and the love of God to every dark corner of the world. So, where do you think the light and the love of God are right at this moment? Where in the world, and what In what situations would you most like the love and the light of God to be right now? In all the war-torn places of the world, in every place where people suffer and die, in every place where there is still injustice and oppression, and in every place where people have stopped caring for one another. In the lives of vulnerable children and young people who feel alone, who feel afraid and with nowhere to turn. Let the images of the news or your own memories and imagination come into your mind right now. Feel the weight of the world in your hands. Then feel the warmth of the candle flame and see the light play on the surfaces of the orange. Jesus said, "I am the light of the world." And he also said, "You are the light of the world." But how does that light get from Jesus to us? Christingles are best lit from one to another. When our flame has been lit with the light of God's love, our next job is to pass it on. And that's how the light and love of God will spread through the world. How will you share the light this Christingle? How will you share the love of God after this service and over these next few weeks? What acts of kindness and love will you share? What words of peace, what prayers and what thoughts? Today and this Christmas, we remember how much God loves the world and each one of us. And we thank him for all his blessings. Just as he has so richly blessed us, we take those blessings and we become a blessing. A blessing to ourselves and a blessing to those around us and to the world. Have a fantastic Christingle. It's very different this year. And have an amazing Christmas. And do share the light. Thank you.